Okay, wait. Before I start this Interlaken vlog, something very important that I forgot to mention at the end of my Italy vlogs. Throughout the vlogs, I was keeping a quite inconsistent pasta and pizza count because, I mean, it's Italy. And I forgot to tally up my total. So at the very end of Italy, my total pizza count was 5. My total pasta count was 7. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but we were only there for 13 days. So essentially I had pasta or pizza almost every single day whilst in Italy. Not bad. Okay, on to the Interlaken vlog. We have just arrived in Interlaken. Honestly, being here is surreal. The mountains are just outstanding. This place is absurdly beautiful. There's so much greenery around. The mountains are huge, and I don't even know how to describe it. This is pretty much the smallest mountain in this entire area. You just can't see most of them right now because we're in the town, but oh. This is the life. That was my first time ever using a slack line. That was awesome. Good morning. Today we're doing something a little crazy. You see, where we are in the mountains right now, it's about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, which isn't super cold or anything, but it's a little chilly. And what we're doing today is a little something called canyoning. Now, what is canyoning, you may ask? Basically, it's going up into the mountains, finding canyons, and jumping into them from 40 meters high, sliding down rocks and waterfalls, rappelling down some really tall stuff. Basically, really exciting, adventurous, and not to mention, freezing activities. We are on our way. This is gonna be so intense. It's just gonna be so cold. I'm so excited though. Alright, we made it up top and we are dang high. Putting you on the helmet, so my mic's gonna be unplugged and everything, so it's gonna be bad sound, but here we go. Wetsuits are difficult to put on. Okay, because the camera is strapped onto my head, I couldn't take it off and talk to it. So throughout the video I'm gonna cut to me here and kind of talk to you about what's happening, or I will voice over some of the videos. Also, because my camera was strapped to my head, I couldn't see the angle that I was getting a lot of the time, because whenever you use a head mount, you usually check the angle on your phone, but I couldn't use my phone. So a lot of the time, the angle is not very good, and it's very frustrating. So I apologize for that. But, c'est la vie. I couldn't really do anything about it. Let's jump right in. Okay, I'm gonna jump in here. There are no words to describe how cold that water was. Switzerland in the mountains is generally already cold, but oh my gosh. It was genuinely the coldest thing I've ever felt in my entire life. And I live in Canada. I love the outdoors in Canada. I play on the ODR. I'm a hockey player. I love being outside in the snow, but literally as soon as you jump in the water, your body kind of starts to go into shock because you're like, oh my gosh, this is dangerous. I genuinely started panicking the first time because I was like, I was not expecting that. It was so cold. Also, another thing I want to mention, and I've said it many times in my past vlogs, but the camera, it really does not do this justice. Like, being there in person was genuinely surreal, just like the entirety of Interlaken, but there's like, everything is way bigger scale than you see through a tiny little camera. I'm probably gonna say this more than once because it was kind of a common factor throughout the entire thing, so sorry. Okay, this jump here is the first time that my camera is in a very bad angle. You can't actually see down, which is super annoying, and I apologize, but it was so intimidating from above. Now, it's about 30 to 35 feet, which isn't like the tallest jump in the world or anything. The thing about this is you're kind of surrounded by mountainsides, and there's water rushing, and the water's freezing, and there's a lot of people kind of telling you to go, so it's really overwhelming. It was honestly pretty scary. I'm going to say more about this situation in a second. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, so in this frame you can actually see what the jump looked like from down below. It was definitely way more intimidating from up above. Anyways, what I wanted to say was right after I jumped from that cliff, a lady went after me. And on that jump, you're supposed to jump out a little bit as opposed to straight down. You're supposed to land right here. So, the next lady that jumped, she was really scared. She had a couple attempts and then she ended up panicking and not doing it. And then the guy was like, usually I would say don't do it because if you're too scared to do it, it's more dangerous, and he says he likes to give them 3 chances. So he gave her 2, and then on the third one she's like, no, okay, I'm gonna do it. So she did it, and she ended up jumping up as opposed to out. So she jumped, and then she landed really close to the wall, and she landed on a rock under the water, and she broke her leg. Now this entire situation was already overwhelming, but after that it was pretty scary. It got wicked real, and if you had any kind of uncomfort before this situation, it got a lot more uncomfortable after. And I'm sorry these talking parts are really long, I just really want to explain the whole situation. We ended up having to sit there for about half an hour in the water. The guides actually asked me to hold her leg up while they were kind of trying to figure out what to do. So I was sitting there in the water kind of propping her leg up a little bit, and then they ended up calling the heli rescue, but they couldn't come down in the canyon because it's a canyon, so they had to send people in to come get her. But we were just sitting there for half an hour, and it was so cold. It got freezing. I know that was the least of our worries because she broke her leg, but it was crazy. Anyways, enough talking. Back to the video.
Starting? Yeah. Hey Rosalind, hey Brooke, hey Brady. Dennis jumping through the canyon, sliding down rocks. see that jump over there? I jumped off of that, and then I'm gonna slide down this one.
Okay, so what he's explaining to me right now is that on this next jump, you have to jump out and like kind of slide against the wall. And once again, it does not look very intimidating on the camera, but from up there, being told that you have to jump out and slide on the wall, it was pretty scary. It was wicked though. So cool. I have a good video of Emma doing it after me. You can see the intensity of it in that. In this video you can hear the helicopter that was coming to rescue the girl that broke her leg. It took them a while to get there. She was probably sitting in the water for, I don't know, like 45 minutes. It would have been a suck. Just a big suck. In this next section, because it was like super tall, you couldn't actually jump down into the canyon below. So Silva had to lower us down. In my POV video, you can see how high it is. It was so crazy. It was really cool though. Unfortunately, the water kind of beat my camera down, so I ended up tilting down really far, but it's kind of a cool angle. Okay, so this last jump was definitely the scariest jump that there was. It's probably about the same height as the first jump, but as you can kind of see, it's kind of in this little chasm, and if you jump just a little bit too far, you could easily smash off of those rocks. I actually told the guide that I couldn't look down before I went, because if I looked down, I would be too intimidated, and I would not do it. I'm a little scared of heights, so this wasn't exactly ideal for me. But after doing it, it was so much fun, like the best jump that there was. And another thing to mention, after climbing out of that, you can kind of see that there's a major drop over the edge, and if you slipped on anything, not just here but even earlier before, you could very easily seriously hurt yourself, if not die. A lot of the times we're in quite imminent danger, and it was mostly, if not all, on you to navigate it safely. I mean, someone broke her leg, so that kind of tells you the whole reality of the situation. So it was wild. I have no other words to describe it. And you can't see that through this camera, which sucks, but just take my word for it. It was wild. Okay, Okay, so this slide was the last scary section of canyoning. Honestly, out of all of the things we did, this was the most intimidating from the top. You can't really see it on the camera, but the slide kind of converges into a little tiny tube that looks like you won't actually even fit. And it's just genuinely terrifying to look at from above. I have a better shot of it from below, and I'll show you that in a second, but it was wild. I honestly probably wouldn't have done it if my guide didn't say go, because you need someone else to tell you to do that. Did all of that just happen? That was the just most intense thing that I have ever done. I honestly can't even believe that it happened. Anyways, that's it for Interlaken. Such a cool place. I really wish we had more time here, but prices are crazy. Besides that, everything here is awesome. It's honestly a surreal place. It's so beautiful. It's unbelievably beautiful. Honestly, cannot recommend Switzerland more, especially Interlaken. It was the best traveling experience of my entire life. Anyways, Munich, Germany is our next spot, so see you guys in a few hundred miles.